Are we live? Are we live?
We should be live right now. Yeah, we should definitely be live. So
Mine isn't showing up.
it should
No.
just about now. There's a lag. There's a lag. So
Oh, okay, great.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. So they'll have us all talking about
there
how
it
we're
is.
not
We're
live.
we're live now. Yeah,
Explaining how
for
this
sure.
works. Okay, perfect, wonderful. Hi, everybody.
We are back.
We're back.
We're back.
Who are you?
Let's get this done. See what happens. All right, cool. So let me bring up my notes that I wrote to get us started because it's been a little while, as we may have noticed. So what happened in session 2? This is going to be a very quick overview, so definitely go back and watch if you haven't. But as a little refresher for those who have not, or if you're just feeling cavalier and want to go in at the end, here's kind of what happened last time. So in the previous session, Amadeo, Tony's character, had come into contact with the previous captain, Captain Ericsson's logbook, and had a strange episode where he felt he was drowning. This was something he was kind of shaken out of by Sven coming in and alerting the others that there was something really strange happening down below. So our investigators all gathered together, and they went down into the lower decks to investigate these strange happenings. They broke into the room where this was occurring, and they seem to have interrupted some sort of ritual, which led to a bit of a scuffle, which ended with the death of the head of these Russian cultists that were in here, a Russian count named Arkady Popov, who it had been earlier discovered was also on the ship, the Happy Bothnian, the previous year when its previous captain had gone missing, walked off the edge of the ship into the sea. The crew of the Bothnian intervened after the death of Popov. They came rushing in. The two groups were split up. Our investigators were sent to be held within their quarters, not to leave, and the Russians were also taken into a different part of the ship to be held. The surviving ones, anyway, until they arrive at port. An investigation into this. Murder feels a little strong, but I guess it was murder. It could be done by the proper authorities.
Death.
So that's largely what we had done last time. However, Sven had smuggled out the notes that the Russians had had in their room. And Hjalmar had begun looking through them when we had left off. Also in that room was a very strange looking, one might say ritualistic looking knife that was recovered by the crew and was not taken by the investigators. Hjalmar had begun looking through these notes. He discovered that they belonged to an organization named the Hermetic Order of the Aurora. But he soon after began to slump down, tired and exhausted by his ordeal and his wounds. Actually, he had been hurt during the fight. And the very last things before we had left off last time, Selma had taken the first mate Stefan back to his quarters after convincing him that he needed to rest, that it was all gone a little bit too far. Selma having some amount of control and influence over the first mate after an earlier extraordinary role, which led to something about a punch bowl. Definitely go back and watch sessions 1 and 2 if you want to know more about that. All very entertaining. However, as Selma leaves Stefan's room, she sees Amadeo working his way down further into the bowels of the ship. And Amadeo is feeling compelled to kill one of the pigs held in the cargo bay of the Happy Bothnian. So I think that is exactly the spot where we'll pick up. Or actually, yeah, we'll pick up there. So, Amadeo, you have this overwhelming desire to kill one of these pigs. You saw them loaded in right before you had all boarded. And now you know you have to kill one of them. And as you get further into the depths of the ship, going down these steps into the bottom deck, you get down here. You can feel the immense heat of the boiler room right next to you. And in front of you is one of these sort of like ship doors with like the turny little handles and this sort of thing. You know, beyond that is kind of like the you actually, even though you haven't been in here, you know that the pigs are in front of you, right? You just need to go through this door. They're going to be in there and they're stowed, and you know you need to kill one. And you know that after you kill it, you're going to hook it onto one of the anchors, and you're going to drop the anchor.
Fun. Okay.
And so you're approaching this door. Selma, you've been following Amadeo, probably at a distance. What would you say?
Yeah, definitely at a distance. I do not want to be caught following him.
Okay. And what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Selma or Amadeo? Selma.
Selma first. Amadeo, you're feeling
Well,
determined and angry.
Well, I'm definitely, Selma is definitely interested in seeing where this is going. Like she's definitely go like, okay, so Amadeo's acting weird. Let's see what's up. That's her current attitude right now.
Okay, so we'll say that Amadeo, you're there at the door, turning the thing to open it. Selma, you're sort of at the top of the stairs. You can kind of peek down and see him down there. Do you want to intervene in any way, or just kind of hang back and watch for now?
I'm watching for now.
All right. Sven, you are back in the quarters with Hjalmar, who's kind of slumped down on this couch, we'll say, with like these notes and papers all over him. What's Sven doing?
I'm probably laying low because I don't want to attract too much attention. I'm a bit worried about my cover being blown, and yeah, we've just killed somebody, so I'll probably stay with Hjalmar for now.
And Hjalmar, you had fallen asleep after looking through these notes. You discovered that they were working on something related to this Gorning and something with the Hermetic order. And you find yourself in a dream. And in the dream, you are holding this dagger, the same dagger that you had been wounded with, I think.
It went through my knee. Okay, so I shuffle myself. Like, I imagine that like the shaking would sort of make him sort of almost fall out of the couch.
Mm-hmm.
So he would sort of react and sort of pull himself up, looking still very drowsy, and he'd look at Sven. Sven, this thing is called Gorning.
Gorning? What are you talking about? What?
The beast. The beast from below.
You've been dreaming,
Came
chap.
to me.
You hear some shouting out in the corridors. Clearly one of the crew, and he's yelling, "Lights out! Lights out!" And he's currently like kind of rushing, kind of like trying to extinguish the sort of oil lamps. And you can see the light sort of under your door, kind of leading out of your cabin, is getting fainter and fainter. And the entire ship sort of groans and creaks.
This can't be good. Hjalmar, do you still have that pistol?
Do I?
Do we have the pistol? Or did the crew take it away?
Was it consecrated?
I don't think they disarmed you. I'm gonna say they did.
Right. Oh, I still have the pistol somewhere. Look through my things. It's probably over there, and I point towards my bed, where I have like my overcoats. Where you would find it in the overcoat pocket of my.
Okay, I'll get it out. How long? We weren't resting for like Hjalmar wasn't resting for very long, was he?
No,
like,
no.
We haven't recovered any conditions or anything, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not good.
Ask and maybe you shall receive, but not in this case.
The maybe I should receive. I have 0. I have 0 in physique at the moment. I am not tough.
All right. Okay.
So are you? So you are broken.
Yeah, I have 0. I haven't recovered it. I haven't
Like,
recovered anything.
I don't think I can really offer you any medicine. No, definitely not.
Yeah,
You need
don't
Amadeo,
remember-
but he's on his way to make a
Yeah, I don't
make a
remember if we
porcine
were
sacrifice.
able to fix that before all that happened. So I think I'm still in a really bad way. Physically.
So you can go ahead and bring back one condition for your physique so that you're no longer broken.
Right.
Or just remove the broken condition. I can't remember exactly how it works, but you won't be broken.
Yeah.
You're messing with the formula.
Am I?
Yeah, you're just meant to tick the conditions. Don't worry about it. Let me turn this on the stream.
Yeah, I noticed before. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess I'm exhausted, but no longer wounded.
No, you should have 3 conditions ticked, but you're not broken. That's kind of how it works. Because your physique is back, right? You basically, you can still have, this isn't like Forbidden Lands, you can still have 3 physical conditions ticked, and if you have a 2 in a stat, which you do for physique, you're not broken. It's just that you get like I'm not sure if it's negative dice in this or actually how that works if you have no dice available for an attribute.
I think you always roll at least 1.
But like if you have a skill tied to it, right?
Yeah, I think even still you would just roll 1, but
yeah.
I'm not 100%
So you
sure on
kind of still have your still conditions are still ticked. I think I actually do. I probably should check this.
Fenhorn says you always roll 1 die.
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Makes sense to me.
So yeah.
So as we sort that, Amadeo, you're sort of shaken as you're sort of opening this door. It kind of you pull it open with this creak. Selma, you're probably thrown to the side as well. But Amadeo, the door's open. You're sort of shaken up, but looking in, you can now look into like this very sort of dim light. Like it has like the single red light that's sort of like hanging over the pen where like the pigs are below. And you also see that there's some of the hull that's kind of been pushed in, such that it's bent in toward this pen on the front section of this cargo hold. And yeah, Amadeo, you still feel driven to kill one of these things. That said, I mean, you're more or less completely in control of yourself. You just have this sort of overwhelming desire, and you have this clear plan in your mind about what you need to do.
So if I understand that they have this compulsion, can I control it, or I just need to let myself go? I mean, because it seems like I'm rational, but at the same time, I have to do this. It's,
Let's do that. You can make a. How would you sort of take control of yourself? This feels like logic or something like that.
Yeah, I would try to say, why do I need to come down here? I mean, I have nothing to do with these piggies. I mean, why?
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I would be like, I would be like, why am I here? What do I need? What do I feel? I need to kill this poor animal. I mean,
Yeah, and they're screeching up like this horrible noise inside as they're all terrified by the fact that the whole ship is sort of fucked just to one side. It seems to be sort of righting itself, but everything sort of feels off end. So yeah, if you want to make some sort of logic test,
Maybe vigilance, possibly. I mean, I know that's more like observation.
yeah.
I don't know. Do we use our advantage for this mystery?
I don't even remember what your advantage was.
Mine was observant to details, but I don't know if I rolled it. So it's maybe I did already.
I think now's as
think
good a time as any to use it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it might be a good
'Cause
idea.
Yeah, so maybe if I can use it, I would be logic 3 plus the advantage that we 4 die.
Okay.
I'm just trying to say one, because yeah, it would be probably puzzle about why I'm
Hmm.
doing this. Yay, fun. 0, nothing.
Do you wanna push that?
Yeah, I will actually, and I will get angry, and
Okay.
I don't get it. Great.
Oh yeah. No, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the compulsion remains. You know that this is what you have to do. You have to.
Yeah,
You have
now
to
I'm
slaughter one of
angry
these
about
things.
it. Now I'm
And
like,
now you're angry about it. Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
"Wah!"
But
And
hold on,
then
hold on,
dump
hold on,
it.
hold on.
What?
You should have rolled 5 dice, I think. You had 3 logic, right?
Yeah.
And
Plus the
your
advantage
your
of
advantage
one.
gives you 2 extra dice, not 1.
Okay.
It's plus 2.
Sounds good.
So roll
I didn't
roll
know,
roll
sorry.
1 dice, then push it as well if it's not a 6 on the
Yeah.
first roll.
Okay.
Here we go.
So nothing, and I
Uh,
will push it. Nothing.
no.
It was meant to be.
Yes. So the compulsion remains. You know you have to kill one of these things.
Okay. So well.
So what do you do?
So I came down with my medical tools, and I don't know if probably my
And you
cane
have
too.
you had your cane, right?
Yeah.
With like the
Yeah, so I'll probably just put aside my medical tools just in case I need them. No, who knows? And then with my cane, I will open the pen and
Yep.
close it behind me very carefully. And then I will see there are 2, 3 piggies.
Yeah, no, there are a whole lot. Like it's
Okay.
you know, a
So
couple dozen. They're all kind of like crammed into here, right? Like you kind of don't even need to get in with them. Like you could just reach one.
I will just unsheath the cane like in a very angry movement, like fuck. And then I
Yeah.
will just put it straight, the cane, and I will, kind of medically speaking, I will try to put it
But
on
before you do that, Selma, you're at the door and you watch Amadeo sort of draw this sort of blade like right next to one of the pigs. What are you doing?
You're muted, man.
And we can't hear you.
All right, sorry about that. I think when he takes out the sword, that just about to like stab the pig with it, I think that's when Selma's gonna go like, Amadeo, what are you doing?
Do I hear anything?
Oh yeah, no, you absolutely hear her.
Okay, and so I will turn around and say, I have to kill this pig. Selma, let me be.
What are you talking about? Why do you have to kill this pig?
Why? Because it's a pig. That's what they do. I kill pigs.
And so, and as you're saying this, and she's asking you why, Amadeo, you have like this sudden like flash of when you had been in the captain's quarters above, and you had touched the logbook, and you were in the water, and then like you felt like the cold, salty water kind of filling your throat as you sort of drown, and then. And now you see like more of this, right? More of this memory comes back to you, and you see this large like gaping darkness approaching you under the water, and it gets closer and closer, and you see like these sort of glowing eyes as this thing approaches you, and its maw is open to swallow you, and like in this moment, like this is what you have to do to destroy this thing that has eaten you.
That I need to kill the piggy, basically. That's what this is telling me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just put down the sword, like as hard as I can, and try to like matador style
Yeah.
on the neck.
Okay, yeah, and so you do. You drive the end, like there's this horrible like screeching sound as like the pig just kind of like wrenches back and forth as you're holding this thing down,
And
like
like holding the
blood
head
comes
down
up.
and pressing
yeah.
down against the planks, crushing.
Selma, yeah, you see Amadeo do this.
Is there something? Wait, let me think. Is there a heavy object I can hit Amadeo over the head with to just knock him unconscious or something while he's wrestling with this pig.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so there's like
He's clearly lost his faculties.
there's like this length of chain that's sort of like on the ground, or maybe if you can think of something else that would make sense to be in sort of like a cargo hold. For whatever reason, I'm thinking like a heavy length of chain, but there could be something else.
I was thinking, yeah, I can't think of anything.
You know what? You know what there is. So like
Large
like
cans.
or actually, what I was thinking is like this large pen. You know, is covered with like straw and hay and things like that. And there's a shovel that's been used to sort of muck it out and put all this down. So there's a shovel as well, if that's something you wanted to go for. Or yeah, I mean, there would probably be like a pail too. That would probably be like a sturdy construction.
Yeah.
What do you grab?
I will grab first the shovel because I want to knock him unconscious and tie him up before he, starts stabbing other things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to hit Amadeo on the head with a shovel.
Okay. Before you do that, I'm actually going to have you make a fear roll.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can choose whether to sort of like handle it with logic or the other one, empathy. And then we make a straight test for that.
A straight attribute test.
That's right.
Well, let's go with logic because Selma has already seen this happen before on a previous adventure when Sven suddenly shot Amadeo for no reason. So she suspects it's something more or less the similar thing and does not want to get stabbed.
You know what? Because of that, like you've seen like this sort of weird shit before, with someone being controlled and acting weird. You can add another couple dice to that. Add 2 dice to it.
So that's a roll of
Happy
5
with
dice. Let's see. RV
5. You've only got 1 dice left, right?
Oh wait, I've got a conditions, right?
You've got three mental conditions ticks. Yeah. No, you're not rolling a full dice pool there.
You guys are
but
great
I've got
awesome.
but I've got 5 logic plus the 2 bonus dice.
You've only got 4 on your character sheet, right?
What
Yeah,
am I
4.
looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong character sheet. Sorry. About that. No wonder I was looking at Hjalmar's after. There we go. Okay.
Yeah,
let's go
so
with that.
3, I
dice.
think.
That makes much more sense. Sorry about that.
No.
Oh boy.
And
Let's push.
If you push that, you're gonna break yourself.
Let's not push.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. You watch this sort of like horrible slaughter going on. The sound of it, the blood is coming up. You're trying to make sense of this in whatever way you can. Yeah. So like you basically have, as I remember, you basically have 3 options in this sort of. You can flee. You can be frozen, sort of like in terror. Or I think, isn't fighting one of them? I can't remember.
In this case, I think I'm gonna flee. I'm gonna flee and get the others.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you run off back the other way, not having grabbed.
It says on a failure from a fear test, you become terrified. Roll a 6-sided die to see how many rounds it takes to regain control. Whether you flee, freeze, faint, or attack is up to you. That's what happens when you're terrified.
Perfect. Yeah.
So technically, you should roll a d6 to see how long you're going to be terrified for.
Yeah. And then you choose one of those options for what you're going to do. So
All right.
let's roll that d6.
D6. 3.
3 rounds. So it'll be
It's
some moments before you sort of regain yourself, and you're going to flee.
It also says that when you become terrified, you suffer a number of mental conditions equal to the fear value. So you're gonna take a mental critical injury anyway.
All right.
Yep. So let's do that.
So I become broken.
You have to roll d66 for that.
All right. I can't seem to find the rules, so I'm just gonna roll the d66.
Yeah, we'll look them up.
Perfect.
56.
Oh God, that's high.
Good. That is never
That's awesome.
good.
Are you looking at it right now? Or should I read it out?
Just read it out.
Horrifying realization. It's chronic.
Oh, wow.
The time limit is 1d6 rounds before. I can't remember what happens exactly during that time, but we'll have a look at that. It's kind of like the fatal time limit, I think. And the effect is you become mortified, and it affects your medicine by -2, which doesn't really, not a big deal for you, but yeah, horrifying realization.
Yeah, I wonder what the time limit is here. Time limit.
Just looking that up on the broken bit here.
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem a little bit strange that you would go.
It's a chronic column for mental injuries. This means that some critical injuries must be treated by someone else within a certain time limit, or else you will die or remain mentally broken forever.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
roll a
I like
d6.
that.
Roll a
So
d6.
I'm running from the doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The possessed doctor. You've got d6
Yes.
rounds before you're gonna be completely mentally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I roll
Broken.
another d6.
Yeah.
Roll another d6.
Here we
Roll
go.
high. Okay. 5 rounds.
5. So I
So you're gonna-
arrive.
So you have 3 rounds until you sort of regain yourself, kind of temporarily. But in 5 rounds, someone needs to get your shit in order, or you're gone. Okay, excellent. Okay, so Salma goes running off. Amadeo, you killed this pig. You know this is the one you had to kill, and now, like you just know, like you have to bring it up onto the deck. You need to skewer this thing on the anchor.
Very well.
And
So-
you hear Salma go running off behind you,
Yes.
What? maybe screaming. I don't know, Salma. You tell me.
Yeah, I will just
Probably
ignore.
Yeah.
I will just ignore and concentrate on the task at hand. I mean, I need to do this right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This is, Amadeus is very, you do things right, so I'm gonna do it right. So I'll put back, I will clean my sword somehow on a hay or whatever that is around, put
Yeah.
it back on,
Yeah.
and put it on the side next to my medical bag, because I guess the pig is quite heavy.
Oh
So
yeah.
grab it from the hind or front legs, I guess, and I will try to drag it
Yeah.
and bring it up the stairs, I guess, somehow,
Mhm.
like clank, clank, clank.
Yeah. Yeah. So you start lugging this thing, leaving like this sticky,
trail.
wet trail of blood behind it. Exactly. The other pigs are just completely losing it as you're dragging this thing out. Okay, excellent. So you're doing that. Hjalmar, Sven,
Yeah. So
back in your quarters, you can hear like outside. There's this commotion as everyone's yelling, like everyone to their quarters, lights out, this sort of thing.
So I grabbed a pistol. I'm going to be not returning to my quarters. I'm suspecting that there's trouble. Obviously, there's trouble of some description, and we're here to investigate and to stop things from happening. Right? That's our job. So I'm not going to listen. I'm going to poke my head out of the door and kind of look up and down and see. First of all, just kind of get the lay of the land.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so you open this cabin door. Outside, like you can see one of the crew is sort of carrying one of these lamps in his hand, which is kind of the only light to speak of out in the corridor, and he's actually working his way down the stairs, like going down to the level below. Other than that, there's no one out there.
All right,
All
I'm
the
gonna
lights are off, and there's this creaking as everything's moving back and forth.
look back at Hjalmar and just say, you're gonna be all right here, right? Right? Just
Gamma is
Make yourself comfortable. And then I'm gonna rush out the door.
Okay.
Yama looks around the room for any sort of cane or other useful self-help object.
There's an umbrella.
Okay, that's pretty bad, but it's better than nothing. So I picked that up and I try to get to my feet.
It's a Victorian umbrella. It's probably pretty
Yeah,
sturdy.
no, this is a sturdy, like it's
Yeah,
probably a weapon. Like
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how you would walk, well, like with a penetrated kneecap, because you can't really keep it like you would walk, but like when you like hit your foot, you would be walking with like your knee suspended so that you wouldn't, but you couldn't really do that when your knee has been pierced, and that's
it's
like
gonna suck.
That's specifically the thing that happened to me. So, yeah, I guess Hjalmar is just gonna like try to put his leg up in some way and try to get himself like moving, kind of semi-crawling, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, to try to get a look out the door.
Yeah. So you kind of follow Sven out into the sort of corridor, kind of like hobbling behind with your umbrella. Selma, describe how you come like rushing up past this one guy with the lantern up onto the same deck as Sven and Hjalmar.
Oh, I knocked the lantern off, lighting the ship on fire. No.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
If I'm going down, you're all going down with me. So yeah, I'm definitely running, screaming. I'm pushing everyone out of my way. I'm trying to get back to our cabin. Do I see any of them?
You'll see me before you get to the cabin, I guess.
Yeah. So you come up these stairs, like you say, you kind of like push this guy to the side. You're working your way up the stairs. The ship makes another sort of violent retch off to the side. You can hear a bunch of bells going off now, like above, like up on the deck. And again, the ship sort of lurches heavily to one side, and there's this fantastic sort of like creaking sound as the whole thing shudders under the impact. It kind of shakes you. But yeah, as you get up, like you can kind of see Sven's silhouette at the end of the hall, and Hjalmar kind of limping his way out of the room.
I put my hand out with my pistol. I'm like, Selma, what's wrong? Like, getting ready to like.
I will crash against him, grabbing him from like the thing, being like, "We need to get out of here. We need to get on land."
I'm gonna slap her across the face, like interrupt her, slap her, and say, "Get a hold of yourself, woman."
Whatever's out here, it's here. It's got Tony. It's gonna get us.
We need you, Selma. We need you.
We're all going
Get
to
a
die.
grip. Get a grip. We need you. I'm gonna like grab her back on the shoulder really hard. Can I make a
make an inspiration?
Yeah.
Sven.
I mean, I don't have any inspiration, but I've got 3 empathies, so.
If you make a case for another skill by slapping the shit out of Selma, then I'm happy to hear it.
My close combat is at a negative because of my stiff body defect, so no.
I mean, I would say this is manipulation or inspiration. So yeah.
All right, I'll happily take the extra dice for the manipulation. I can see you're trying to give Selma every opportunity of not becoming a lost NPC, a lost PC. So I'm rolling 4 then. I'm just trying to look at this RV. Okay, yeah. 4D.
Full on Sean Connery style, I see. Anyway.
Oh my god, we're rolling like shit. I am gonna push. I have no mental conditions yet, so I'm gonna push that.
Okay.
Oh no!
My god.
Is the push even working? Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, that's not good. No. Yeah. So I don't help you. I'm sorry. That's probably.
Hjalmar still has a shot.
Yeah. And I'm ticking angry because I'm being like shaken around and I'm angry.
Okay. Excellent. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah. You get Selma. How do you respond to Sven sort of smacking you around and telling you to get over it?
I smack him back. I tell him, we need to get out of here. Like, he's smacking me, you need to calm down. And I'm smacking him, telling me, we need to get out of here. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
You need to calm down. You need to get mad.
Hjalmar, you're watching all this happening ahead of you as you're limping down the corridor.
So, Hjalmar sort of looks and is like, "Hey, you two, no fighting. We don't have time for that now. We need to find Gurning and end this. We need to find that bloody dagger. I can't have you fighting among yourselves." And I sort of walk up, limping, obviously in pain, sort of not simpering, but the slightly less bad version of that. And I just sort of grab a hold of Sven and like, "Look, we can get out this ship, but there's no way of getting off it. We're on a ship. We can't just run to the land, Selma. You need to calm down so that we can find a way off this boat. And the way we can find a way off this boat is that we find a way to appease this beast thing. And we find a Medea. So please calm your senses before we all end up dead."
As this is happening, Amadeo, you've pulled this dead pig carcass up the first this first sort of flight of stairs. Up ahead of you, sort of further down the hall, you can hear a bunch of shouting, and you see the same crewman who has the lantern. He's outside of the door, sort of shouting at the people inside, and they're sort of yelling out. You realize they're yelling in Russian. Like, this must be where like these remaining like Russian cultists are being held, and the crewman's like yelling at them like, "No, you have to stay in there. Like, everything's going to be fine, but you have to stay in." And they're just yelling back in Russian, right? They don't notice you so far. You still have the pig. You think you might be able to get to the stairs without them seeing you, but how do you sort of proceed?
I know where I need to go, right? The anchor.
I mean, yeah. So you'd have to like go up to the deck to sort of get the thing on the anchor.
And it's just to continue going up the stairs, or do I need
Yes.
to go through where these guys are?
No, like you think you might be able to get by. I guess I'm sort of asking you, do you pay them any mind? Do you try and be quiet about this? How do you sort of get the pig up the next flight of stairs in light of knowing all these people are here?
I'm guessing my compulsion doesn't tell me anything about these kind of things. He just bring up the pig and put it-
Yeah. You have an objective, kind of like, like there's this one thing you have to do. Other than that, you're more or less yourself.
Yeah, so I think, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I just need to bring this pig up and
Right.
So I'm just gonna keep on pulling this thing up, and that's it. I'm not gonna pay them any mind.
All right, yeah. So you're hauling this pig around toward the base of these stairs. The sort of crewman like hears this coming. He kind of like turns around, like holding the lantern. He's like, "Who are you? Get back get back!" He's starting to yell at you to like go back to your quarters, and like the light falls upon like this bloody corpse of a pig that you're lugging with him, and you can see like his face just completely drop. And then he drops the lantern, which hits the carpet immediately. Like the fire is beginning, right? Like around him, he kind of like staggers back. There's a shattering sound, and then like the screaming, like the Russians screaming inside this cabin is even getting louder. And they're slamming on this door. What do you do next?
I'm okay with it. I just continue dragging the pig up.
Yeah, okay, so you start lugging it back up. Okay, Hjalmar, Selma, and Sven, you were having this sort of conversation. Hjalmar, you're just, you're saying what you're saying, and like now you guys are hearing this commotion downstairs, and you hear this thump, 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 thump coming up the stairs. What do you do?
Well, I tried to get the sense into some sense into Selma, but I assume that is lost now. So I sort of looked to the side and like, we need to keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I sort of tried to motion like we need to get out of this place, sort of up towards the. God, now.
Selma, what did you see? What's going on? We're here to stop this whatever this thing is, this Vaesen. If it's a Vaesen, what did you see? Tell us. Where is it? We need to stop it. That's why we're here. We're not taking a bloody ferry ride to Finland. For the hell of it. Hjalmar might be, but I'm not.
So how are we proceeding with this, Eric? Has Selma completely lost her mind? I can role play her lost her mind for the rest of the session.
I think that's where we're going.
Yeah.
All right.
With Selma. I mean, so you won't be able to really do anything that would require tests, but yeah.
So just a quick rules thing, because that's kind of the nature of this channel. And Fenhorn brought it up about failing forward. There is a rule in this game called "The Show Must Go On," and it specifically talks about ways that you can introduce other complications into the story to ensure that the story doesn't come to grinding to a halt. But it's not necessary. Like, this story's not grinding to a halt, and it's
No.
it's a deadly system, and I think
It's just getting
and,
worse.
and I think
we
it-
have
I think
failed
it'll-
forward. This is moving forward.
Oh yeah, this is definitely
And I think it definitely adds more complications that Selma is now in a troubled state of mind.
Yeah, I can't see us abandoning you in the state you're in to go try and do what we need to do. I think one of us needs to stay with you and try and where's our doctor? It's also ironic that the one person who's really good at inspiration is the person who's lost their mind.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah, and our doctor is the
So
one.
Selma,
anyway.
how do you react?
I will continue to, obviously, I won't yell anymore into the microphone because that's probably going to be annoying. But I will continue to yell in character, and I will be saying something like, it's God Tony. He's slaughtering animals in down there. I saw him. He's lost it, or whatever it is has him, and it's gonna get us, and we need to get out of here because we're gonna die again. We almost died last time, and we're gonna die again. Well,
And as you're saying that, like this thudding up the stairs continues. Amadeo, describe your entrance. Here's Tony, covered in blood, with the
Here's
pig.
Tony.
The drum. So I just pull the pig up, and I guess I see these guys. I mean, I see Vlad and Sven.
And they're at the base of the stairs that are leading up to the upper deck.
So I encountered right on the stairs, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be like, hey guys, so there is some fire below. Maybe you could go and have a look at that. I'm kind of busy here. I need to bring this pig upstairs. I hope you don't mind.
What are you doing with the pig, Amadeo?
I need to hang it and
Why?
put it down. I think I need to.
So I sort of Yama sort of staggers up to Amadeo and is like, "Why?"
That's a good question. I don't know why, but I need to do this, and I need to do it right. I need to do it properly.
Right.
You know me.
I'm angry, right? That's the thing I've just ticked.
Mm-hmm.
Has everyone lost their mind? And I'm gonna grab Amadeo and I'm gonna slap him as well. Get a grip! What is going on here?
Amadeo, do you let him grab you and slap you, or are you just going to push past and try to get to this?
I mean, he's my friend, so in principle I will not react quick enough, I guess. So I guess he can slap me. I mean, I'm holding the pig, right? I'm kind of, hey, I'm with one hand and talking with them, so I don't expect him. So yeah, he wants to slash me.
I'm not sure what mechanically that's going to do anything, but yeah,
It's not
It's not gonna snap me out, right? Any of these things doesn't help to kind of regain my ration.
As I'm looking at
I think
Amadeo,
we've
gone past that.
as I'm looking at Amadeo, Helma not being the stupidest person ever, does it seem like Amadeo is distressed, disturbed, distanced, in some way not himself? Aside from the ridiculous behavior, but
he's covered in blood and dragging a pig.
Yes, but what I mean is
strangely calm about the lower decks being on fire and his need to hang a pig on an anchor. So yeah, make of that what you will.
Yeah, he seems a little bit offish.
And Selma just screamed that he was definitely possessed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think me slapping him and him not reacting to it is also. I mean, we can put the pieces together.
But now I would react.
We're meant to be investigators, right? Come on.
When you slap me, I'm like, what are you doing? I will just react at that moment because I was not expecting. I was like, why are you doing this, Sven?
Hey, look, Amadeo, let me give you a hand with that pig, okay?
Okay.
Here. Give me your cane. Give me your cane so you can use both.
Down below.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm not gonna offer to help you with the pig. It was a ploy to disarm you.
And do help me because I'm a little bit weak.
Okay, then I'm going to help him carry this pig.
Okay.
I'm gonna be making it really, really hard for him to carry this pig.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a magician. This is me pretending to do something while I'm actually doing something else.
Okay.
So maybe stepping on it like stepping on a loose trotter while I'm pulling it, so it's not actually going anywhere. But, you know, that sort of thing.
So Selma's convinced.
And then
she's gonna tell them. Oh no! It's Sven too!
I'm gonna look at Hjalmar. I'm gonna try and give you this significant look. Just like, I know you're injured, but solve the mystery.
Yeah, so Yama knows that he needs to find this bloody dagger. And he sort of... Where would Yama reckon that they would have put it? It's along with the rest of the stuff they took.
Sure. So the captain sort of repossessed it, like probably. I mean, the captain was there with the first mate, so either the first mate had it, but Selma was down there. I mean, she probably know he didn't have it. So yeah, I mean, the most reasonable place is.
Yeah. So Yama sort of looks at them staggering up with this pig, and he's like, "Well, Sven, see you at the captain's office." And he starts walking up towards the captain's cabin, very slowly. But he thinks that if he can convince the captain to give that to him or steal it, that might be his only option.
Before he goes, I remind Sven, I just told you there is fire downstairs. I cannot go now because I'm quite busy with this pig. Maybe you should go.
And you're all
I
starting
can probably
to
smell it.
Yeah, you're all starting to smell this fire, and in fact, suddenly you hear a loud sort of like crashing sound down there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is not good. Right, I'm going to drop the pig then, and I'm going to go running onto the deck to try and find some more crew to get people to help grab buckets or whatever.
Okay. Okay, so
I'm now less worried about the pig, and I'm more worried about, you know, the ship we're on burning down to the, not to the ground, to the, you know, burning. Yeah. Anyway.
To the depth of the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sven, you go running up the stairs. Leaving is going to be a little bit slower. You get up on the deck. It's completely wet, rain, kind of like chaos everywhere, and a lot of the crewers seem to be like moving in and around the sort of bridge, and a number of them are preparing lifeboats.
Oh, right. See. Okay. I'm gonna shout, "Fire! Fire below deck!"
Okay.
Yeah. Get it, sir.
Yeah, you start shouting fire. One of them immediately goes over to like this large bell, like this other bell they haven't been ringing yet, and this one starts going off like this very like sort of droning sort of sound, like imagine like on these old sort of like fire trucks where you have like those bells. Like this is the sort of bell.
Oh, like a winding one, like a winding siren. Okay, yeah.
Actually, that's even better. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so there's this sort of like fire siren sort of sounding thing as this guy's working this thing, and like a number of people are sort of like reacting. They're coming your way, and Selma, I would say that Amadeo, you probably have more chance of getting up kind of right after Sven, pulling your pig along. Selma, what are you doing? What's your sort of priority right now?
We've just left you.
Yeah. I'm gonna run on deck to see if there's any kind of emergency escape boats. Like
yeah.
What are those called?
Yeah, no, they're lifeboats. Yeah, and they're actively. Yeah, you get up on deck on this slick, wet deck. You can see the ship sort of listing to the side too, just like a little bit. Like the ocean is very clearly visible off to one side, where it's not entirely visible off to the other now. And you can see people like they're like 4 of these lifeboats are along the sides of the ship, and like some of the crew are already sort of clearly trying to get them ready.
Okay. They're already preparing the lifeboats to get off the ship.
Yeah, well, or at least preparing them if they need them, right?
Okay. Is there one perhaps? Are they preparing them in case they need them? They're not lowering them like.
They haven't lowered them yet. No.
Oh, okay. Is there perhaps one that is less manned than the others that I might jump onto and manage to get down? I'll probably do something stupid like get on the ship and start cutting the ropes. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I mean.
So that it's like hands.
Yeah. So what I'll say is like they're kind of 2 on each side, right? There's the port and starboard side. The crew are currently working on the ones that are further back. Toward the back of the ship. The ones in the front, like no one's sort of on right now.
So yeah, I'm gonna go and jump on one of. Before I jump on one of those, I'm just going to somehow, in whatever way possible, attempt to try and guess if there is anything out there, where it might be coming from. If I should go to what, left or right, starboard or.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's a really good point. The most recent sort of crash on the ship, like the side it's sort of listening to more, is the starboard side.
All right, then I will go
so-
to the
so
other
it-
side.
Okay, so yeah, you go over to port. That means you're kind of going to be like going up at an angle. And so how these lifeboats are done, they're sort of up on sort of winches, right? They're kind of attached to the bridge. You would have to sort of like unwind them and to like bring them down into the sea beyond. And that's going to be a little tricky because these are sort of listing off to the side, so they're kind of leaning in toward the bridge. So you'd have to find some way to sort of like push them out and then start cranking them down. But yeah, you can run over and you can start, trying to work with that. It's slick, it's difficult, right? Like it's the sort of thing like running up the deck, you can feel your feet going. Where's Amethyst in all this?
I don't know. Where is she? I probably forgot about her.
Oh
We're
yeah.
all doomed.
You can tell me where she is. Has she run out?
How is she?
Because
She's
the crew
probably-
are chasing her at some point.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
Well, if she is near me, she's probably barking at me to calm down, and I'm just ignoring her.
Well, how about let's say this, like you kind of meet her up on deck. Like the crew had been chasing her around, and she's like up there. She comes around from the other side of the bridge. She comes around and she starts barking at you in like a complete panic.
Okay, then I'll be like, yes, girl, we have to get out of here. Let's go.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna if the boat is at an angle, instead of winding it, I am going to actually try to cut it so that it
Yeah.
like falls off and starts and like maybe slides off the boat.
Okay. All right.
That's
Do you
what I'll
have
be
any?
doing.
Do you have any sort of knife?
I don't know. Not in my equipment anyway.
Okay.
So
Well,
no,
that's
if
a
I
problem.
can't find, then I'll just probably try to.
We'll come back to this. I have
Yeah.
an idea for it.
All right.
Hjalmar, what's your sort of priority as the others have limped up and like this bloody pig trail is being left in front of you with Amadeo hefting this thing up?
Yalma is still ambling towards the captain's quarters, or trying to locate the captain in any case if
Okay.
he's around.
Yeah.
Because he really does think that the dream was a sign. So there must be something to it.
Okay. Yeah. So you limp up. You're probably the last of them, right? Like we kind of discussed your mobility issues. You limp your way up onto the deck. Sven's up there yelling fire. Like now there's a siren going for the fire. There are some crewmen like rushing toward you with buckets, and you can see kind of like up ahead above you, sort of like through this glass, kind of backlit by the lights inside, like the I'm losing the term for it, like the bridge, where the captain is. Like you can see her with her, immaculately white sort of thing, and she's and she's, you can see her pointing at something like out on the horizon, but you can't hear it obviously. They're up and inside. You're kind of beside Sven now. You're both here. What do you do? Either of you.
Okay, in that case I look at Sven and I say, we need to find that knife. We need to get out of here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Where?
Captain probably has it. And if she doesn't
Alright.
have it, it's in her quarters. It's difficult to explain, but I saw something, Sven. And I
Okay.
think
Well,
I
we're
know.
right here. Let's go see if we can find it. If she's got it, then I can, and she won't give it to us. Maybe I can steal it from her. Maybe you can distract her, and I'll steal it from her. All right.
Yeah, it sounds like the plan. It's not like we have a lot of options anymore, old mate. So the amble.
We need to get off
away.
the ship.
There's no use to getting off the ship if what I think is down there is down there. We need to appease it first. Well, do you want to become fish feed, old friend?
No, of course I don't. All right, let's go.
You say this as you're ambling up toward the
Yeah.
door into the bridge. Excellent.
Yep.
So you're working your way up there. Amadeo, you're lugging this bloody pig across the surface of the deck toward the front, where there's sort of like one of the anchors is kind of up there, and it's on one of these like sort of like chain winches. And yeah, so you're approaching this with the pig. You know you have to like get it on there, hook it on there. As you're getting close to this this anchor, like you feel someone sort of grab you from the shoulder, and it's sort of like one of the crew. And they're like, "What are you doing? Leave the anchor alone!"
I turn around and I say, "What do you mean?"
Like, you can't. You should be in your quarters. We might have to evacuate. There's somebody to fire. What are you doing? You can't touch the anchor. You have to go back.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I need to do this first. And don't worry. And then I will go and evacuate with the rest of the people. Just let me do this. We'll be quick.
So he's going to try and like subdue you. He's going to try and grab you and subdue you. Do me a favor. Just roll a d6.
Sure. Nothing.
What'd you get?
A two.
Just like I just need to know the number value.
I guess it's a 2.
Oh, you got a 2. Okay. Yeah. So this guy's going to try and grab you. Are you going to try and defend yourself?
Yeah, I will not let him grab me, of course.
Okay. Make a close combat roll. Or is it force? I think it's force. For
I only have one die.
fisticuffs. You have one die?
Yeah.
All right.
A 2 again.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking for successes now. Do you want to push that? It might be.
No,
I don't know if you have any more physical conditions you can take.
Yeah, I can, but I won't. I mean, if I can control it, I won't.
Okay, yeah, you don't have to. So this guy grabs you, and kind of like wrestles you back. You sort of like drop the pig, and he kind of like turns you around. Like he's going to kind of try and shove you back toward the stairs that sort of go down. But in this moment, he just sort of grabs you, turns you around, begins shoving you.
And I said, what's the meaning of this? I have to do this. You have no right to do this.
I'm trying to save you. Okay, awesome. Selma, you're around the other side. You're looking for anything. There's one of these sort of kind of like axes. They're kind of like off the side of the ship, like one of these like hooked things, like a very simple. Like you can try and get at that and try to use this thing to start like hacking at these ropes if you want.
I will definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So you grab this thing, you start hacking at one of these ropes. Like, and the first one like gives way, and the boat sort of collapses forward, like hits the deck on one side. Amethyst is sort of losing it, barking more and more, and kind of like running at your feet, like as if like she was going to help you somehow. And you can see this person kind of like up ahead on the other side, sort of like wrestling with Amadeo, sort of leaving this bloody pig on the deck. Sven and Hjalmar, you make it up into this sort of little corridor, right? And so ahead of you is the captain's stateroom where you had been earlier in the day, and you know off to the left of that is the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do now?
I'll talk to the captain.
Yeah, you distract her, and I'll try and grab the knife. Okay, you distract her with words. I will get the knife.
Good to me.
It feels like my whole life has been leading up to this moment. I won't let us down. If you sure we need this knife.
Want to get off this boat alive? We need to.
I also don't want to burn on this boat, so if you think the knife is more important than getting in one of the lifeboats, then I'll help you. But I think
We'll see.
I think at this point the boat is beyond I think the boat
So-
has. Well, let's do your thing first.
I'm just gonna ask, what's the weather like? Is it raining?
Oh yeah, it's
Because
raining.
I
Windy.
have this idea of sort of Hjalmar, who's usually kind of well kept together, sort
Yeah.
of like looking clean, like a totally wet tweed suit, totally soaked, like with this mad expression and tired face. He looks at Sven and he's like, "You get that dagger, or we all die." Now, old chum, and I sort of shove him away.
Yeah.
Do your bit, and I'll do mine. And he sort of stumbles away towards the captain. It's like,
Awesome.
Don't forget that my makeup is now running in the rain.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably not even aware of it. I'm probably, but I look pretty freaky.
I had
Oh, yeah.
totally forgotten about the old man makeup.
Yeah, there's like I've got like gray hair that's like kind of going brown, and oh yeah, it's just I'm a mess.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, Hjalmar, you kind of go off to the left toward the bridge. Like the door is sort of open. You can hear them sort of yelling in there on the other side. Sven, you go into like the stateroom. You know the captain's quarters are kind of attached off toward like the rear of the boat. But no one's sort of in here. You're alone in here.
Actually, if I'm alone in here, can I grab like a tablecloth or a towel or something and just quickly wipe my face with it?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Because I could probably
table had
feel
been
like
set.
yeah.
Yeah, the table had been set for dinner. I mean, that now like things are kind of scattered and
Yeah,
fallen
yeah.
to the side because of the way the ship's been rocking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tablecloth. You can just
Yeah.
yank it.
I'm not gonna worry about the hair too much. I'm just gonna try and wipe because I probably got from the rain. I'm probably gonna have like makeup running into my eyes and shit.
Okay. Yeah.
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 So, yeah, I'll
you
do
can
that
you
quickly.
get that. You sort of start wiping. Let's do this. Let's do. You're looking for this knife. Let's just put that down to some sort of roll here. What would that be? Because basically, I just want to see how long it takes
It's
you to get it.
no observation. It's vigilance probably. Is like a
Yeah,
is
let's
like
do
the
that.
investigation or investigation
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Investigation probably.
I'm happy with both. Yeah, whichever one you want.
All right, I'll go with whichever one I've got more skill points in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is going to be observation. No, sorry, vigilance. We said vigilance.
Yeah, vigilance or
Yeah.
investigation. I like both of those. Investigation, you're kind of guessing where she would have had it, and
And vigilance is just like the
looking
perception
for
sort of
clues
type of thing.
or yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, either
Right.
of those I'm great with.
All right. So I've got 3 left in logic because I've got 1 mental condition and I've got 2 in vigilance. That's 5 dice. 1 success. I'm not pushing that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Okay, so you start looking for this knife. We'll get back to that. Hjalmar, you work your way into the bridge. There's all this shouting going on. No one immediately notices you as you walk in. What's your opening pitch?
Sort of like he comes in and he's sort of, "Captain!"
And she turns around and like her face is just like stony, emotionless. Like she sort of, you can clearly tell that she resents you being here. Like you're intruding on her thing, but she's showing so little emotion right now. Like this is like pure determination.
Sorry, I just given Simon's previous description, I just imagined the camera from the inside, the door bursting open, the lightning bolt on the outside flashing, the outline of Hjalmar.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I sort of like, "Captain, you know what must be done to appease the vile beast of the sea, don't you?" And so it's a completely mad look that he gives her.
And so tell me again, what is your objective with this?
I mean,
how do you want her
his
to
real
react? Are you just
objective-
stalling for time, or?
His real objective is twofold. He believes that this is the thing. Hjalmar is quite scared at this point, and he's also very stressed out. He hasn't taken any mental condition. Like he has taken mental conditions, but he has this belief that it didn't go far enough last time. He should have killed the priest, and this time he thinks maybe he actually has to work with the powers this time, the eldritch powers. So he thinks the only way to appease this beast is to draw blood and pull it back into the depths of the sea, so to speak. So he's going to try to convince her to either look the other way or get desperate enough to let him try it.
Okay. Yeah, and like her immediate response is like, I'm dealing with an emergency here. I can't have insane people wandering into the bridge, distracting us. Enough of this nonsense.
Insane? What do you think is striking this place? Do you think it's a blue whale from Greenland, or do you think it's some big seal from the Åland Islands? What do you think this is?
She's like, it's weather. It's just we're getting hit by the large waves, and like as she's saying this, like you feel the ship sort of shudder again, and kind of like, and this one sort of like comes kind of from the other side, comes from the starboard side, and the ship kind of like wrenches back into that direction now. And as you're saying this, Hjalmar, and the ship wrenches and moves, like you see outside, like as the ship kind of lurches now toward the starboard side, you catch the tail of something impossibly immense kind of rise up out of the waves and come crashing down and disappear into the ocean.
Yes. So as he sees that, he sort of points. But you saw that, didn't you?
I mean, she's looking at you. She's not looking out. She wouldn't see it.
In that case, he's like, the thing that's striking us is Gurning, beast of the seven seas, destroyer of all, eater of all that lingers in the sea, and no one shall see any more if we do not sate her hunger and her spirit. So listen to me, child. Let me take one of yours, and we shall all leave this place alive. Something like that.
Awesome. Okay, we'll come back to that.
All with a mad look. Because...
This is fantastic. Selma, you're here. You're working this thing. You've been hacking with these things. Some of the crew that have been working the rowboat kind of like further beyond, like they see what you're doing. And there's like this immediate cry and shout. It's one of them seems to be like rushing forward to stop you. And the rest of them are yelling and trying to like control this thing, right? And this guy comes running up. He's almost at you when you feel that same shuddering. The ship kind of rocks now toward the starboard side. This boat that you've been working on clears the deck, kind of leaning over, and it's like just ocean beneath it, right? And this person that's been running at you collapses against the boat and then like falls over, kind of like halfway over the sort of railing. He's not like into the sea yet, but you have this moment. What do you do?
I continue to cut the ropes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, with this rope, you turn, you snap this remaining rope, and the rowboat comes loose and falls into the water with this loud splash. And what do you do? Do you leap over?
I will definitely spend maybe half a second telling Amethyst to get on the boat, like slap her, go girl, go, and I'll climb over and jump as well onto the ocean, not onto the rope, and then climb onto the lifeboat.
Okay, so
that's what I'll try to do.
Selma and Amethyst go overboard, and we'll see where that leads to. Excellent. Amadeo, just like so, this person had been wrestling. They've been pushing you over. Now the boat rocks to the other side. This guy collapses down onto the deck and he starts sliding with it. Make an agility test if you can to see if you can keep your balance as this person.
I only have one die.
Do what you can.
No success.
No success. Okay. I imagine you're not pushing it.
Unless
or can you even?
I mean, I can. I don't know if I'm in danger. If I'm in danger,
I mean, you're gonna go falling down like it's stopping you. It's this really annoying thing that's stopping you from doing what you know you have to do. Other than that, I mean, you're not in immediate danger. I mean, everyone here is in immediate danger. Let's be very clear.
no. But what I mean is, he's not falling off the ship, right? I
No,
mean,
no, he's not falling off the ship. Like you would kind of fall into the deck and be sliding down a bit toward the starboard side because it's all sort of wet and suddenly at an angle.
I will try to hold somewhere. So I will push. Let's go for it.
Okay.
I don't even know what I try. I mean, I heard myself trying to grab, I guess, a metallic piece or something, and I slashed a little bit my arm. So
Okay.
now I'm wounded.
Oh, you pushed it. Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
zero die physique now. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so actually, let's say exactly that. Like you fall like he does, but like you grab onto the side railing, and it does sort of like wrenches on your arm. It's this immediate like screeching pain in your shoulder, but you don't kind of go sliding down like this other guy does. You're sort of on the ground. But yeah, you have this immediate thing where you're able to hold on.
I need to put back my shoulder.
Yeah.
Like in the movies. Oh, die hard. I gotta put it back.
Yeah, maybe it's dislocated. Yeah, totally. And you would sort of know that. Sven, you're looking for this dagger. And you kind of like you have this idea that it's underneath this sort of logbook, the logbook of this former captain that's like up on this pedestal. And sure enough, like there's a drawer underneath it. You pull it open, and there it is. And it's bloody, and like it's on like a sort of cloth. You can see they sort of like wrapped it up. All right. And the blood is sort of like seeping through it. And now you kind of like have the best glance of this thing that you've had, right? And like I had a description of this somewhere. I can't find it, so here it goes. It's the handle is like this worked silver. No, sorry, the handle is bone. It's some sort of bone, almost certainly. And the blade is silver, and it has like all these crazy sort of like etchings on it.
Okay. I kind of like just check that it is the dagger. I kind of look at it very quickly. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And the blood is still like dripping off of it, like flowing almost off of it, or
no, it's not. No, it's not flowing. Sorry, it's just that
it's not like some sort of supernatural.
Wrapped up, and
right.
The blood that was hanging on it has sort of leaked through.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's sort of dried blood. That's
yeah. So I will just kind of like try and wipe it on this cloth that was in there. Leave the cloth in the drawer and put the knife like up my sleeve, maybe slightly or something like that. Like try and hide it somehow, so it's there if I need it, but it's not visible that I'm holding it. Right?
Hey, I mean, you're a magician. You know how to.
Yeah. Like I've got pockets for this.
Put a knife up their sleeve. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you work this thing up into your sleeve, and then what do you do next?
I'm gonna go look for Hjalmar. He's gone into the bridge, right?
Yeah, you can hear his poetic speech.
Yeah.
Captain from like where you are. Yeah.
In my head, I'm just like perfect. All right, now we have to get off this bloody boat, and I'm gonna go into the bridge and kind of grab Hjalmar by the shoulder, and say, like even if I have to interrupt him and say, we need to go. Okay,
and all right, so Sven, you come up, you say this to Hjalmar. Hjalmar, make a manipulation roll, I suppose.
Let's see. That would be 5 dice, I believe. Yes. And nothing else that would give that an advantage. I can't drink the liquor to inspire people anymore.
1 second.
Yeah. It's Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Throw it.
Yeah.
Wait, if it was a flask, it would be like a good moment. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pushing that.
Okay. All right.
And now I'm frightened.
Right. Yeah, and okay. So this is enough. Like you sort of like have her attention, especially as like this next rock comes in, and she's like, what do we have to do? I need to save this. These are my people. This is my ship. What do we need to do?
Gurning, as any beast, I saw it in my dream, I saw it in a vision, so to speak. Desires blood, and must be given such to leave us alone. I think Amadeo, our good friend the doctor, has tried with pig, but it doesn't seem to be working. You see where I'm going?
What are you saying?
My hand is frozen on your shoulder and kind of like, what? Yeah.
I'm saying that the beast must know blood to return to the depths, and no pig will do. It must taste man flesh, and then it will return. That is what my vision told me, and I have no intention of turning it down.
Gee, like, are you going to throw someone overboard?
I have no idea. What's your point, Captain? What are you willing to do to live?
We just need to get back. The fire. There's fire down below. The others are working on it. We can save this.
You get on your boats, and the beast will eat you all. It'll find your boats.
What
It'll find
beast?
your men. It'll find your passengers, and it'll eat them, one by single one.
I mean, so she's clearly kind of buying that there's some sort of beast behind this at this point, but you're also not sort of giving her a clear path forward. So she's really trying to work this out. What you're trying to do here, Selma, you're in like this cold water, drenched. Like your clothes are clinging to you. You reach like one hand up. You can grab the side of this robe of this life craft. Like there are people up above on the ship, which is sort of kind of righting itself now, like shouting at you. Amethyst is sort of like paddling up beside you, like treading the water, and like there are these massive waves buffeting you.
If I'm gonna try to get Amethyst to help me to get on the ship. If you can push me, and I'll try to just climb onto the boat, to the light.
Yeah. I mean, Amethyst is a guard dog, and she's absolutely devoted to you. So yeah, like she'll yeah. So I imagine like she kind of like clambers up over you, and then sort of like grabs you, like right, and kind of like starts like pulling back, like her, like yanking you back up onto the ship, up onto the lifeboat with her. And so you're up here, like, and this is huge. Like this lifeboat is meant for like a dozen people or more, right? And you're just in here with her. Like there are some paddles in here. You can grab one of them if you want, and start making your way. And you see in the depths of the water, as you pull yourself up, you see this incredibly large, like serpentine shape, kind of just under the surface, like working its way under the boat again.
I'm paddling. I'm paddling away.
Okay.
And I will be screaming at the people on the boat, "Get out, you fools! Get out!" So I'm paddling away.
And as you shout that, like now a couple of these crewmen that were up above shouting at you, they go leaping over the side, like into the water. There's these large splashes as they come out, and they're going to start swimming over toward your.
Oh yeah, if they come to my boat, I will pick them up and give them a paddle.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Amadeo, you're there. Your shoulder is like screaming with pain. This guy is sort of getting up on the other side. He's clearly still going to try and pull you away from the anchor, but like you're sort of away from him right now. You have like one good arm. Are you going for the pig?
Yeah. I go for the pig.
Yeah, you
Just
grab
try
the pig.
Holding the handrail and with one hand, and then pulling myself up as I can.
Yeah.
Under the rain, and then I get to the pig, I guess.
Yeah, and I would say like perhaps like it's like under the sort of jaw where you try to like.
Wherever I can, yeah. It's hurting probably my arm a lot, so I will.
Yeah.
Jam him under the jaw as I can, and
Okay, yeah, and you do this, and you see this crewman who is going to sort of interfere with you, and he's just sort of backing up on the deck, and then he runs off in the other direction where like some others are working with these these lifeboats, and you can kind of see like over the side now that the ship is getting much closer to the sea level than it had been previously.
Okay, so I will junk the anchor. Like if it is locked, I will unlock it. I will
So that there's like
whatever.
a capstan in the center that you're going to have to winch to get this thing down in the water.
so-
Though it's it's going to be pretty close to be in the water pretty soon anyway, the way things
Okay.
are going.
I try
Excellent.
my best. I will start putting it down.
All right, yeah. So you work your way around there, and you start trying to push this thing. You have like your one good arm. It's slick. This is obviously meant for multiple people to work, like the manual controls. But you're doing the best you can. Awesome. Hjalmar and Sven, the captain is completely Captain Olivia. She she's listening to you, but
I was gonna ask you, in my vision, you said I saw a person lying on the ground before me.
yeah.
What person was that?
You don't.
I wanted
no,
to
the
be...
person that you had seen on the ground is the young man that Sven had encountered in the closet, which sounds insane the way I say it, but I didn't.
Yeah, I wanted it to be one of the Russians. But
I forgot about that guy.
mm,
Where was he? Was he taken and put into the room with the Russians as well?
Yeah, I was in the closet, no?
He was brought. Yeah, so he was brought into like the ship's sort of infirmary.
Oh, okay, all right. The Russians were put into like a separate room, right? Or into
Yeah.
okay.
all right.
They're probably burnt to a crisp by now. Anyway.
What I'm saying, Captain, is exactly what I was saying. Gurning needs to be sated, and I see no other way forward than to appease her, or we are going down.
I think we're going down already, Sven.
Well,
I think Gurning is gonna, whatever that is gonna be getting its fill.
And and you start to hear people outside sort of like yelling like, "Abandon ship! Abandon ship!" And Olivia is going to try and like press her way past you, kind of like outside to go to the others. And like the pilot behind her is kind of like looking with alarm at a lot of you, but Olivia's going to try and press past you both.
I won't stop her. What about you, Hjalmar?
no, I won't stop.
And then as she goes past, I'm going to I've got my hand on your shoulder. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit and say, "What the hell's going on? We need to... I found the knife. What did you want me to do with it? We need to get off this boat."
Give me that knife, Sven.
What are you going to... No! You're talking... What? Am I the only sane person here? I'm not giving it to you.
Sanity is no longer an option, my friend.
I'm backing away from him now.
You hear Captain Olivia behind you shouting at some people like, "You shouldn't be here!" And then you hear them yelling back in Russian, and you hear like the sound of like some sort of kerfuffle.
Okay, I still have a pistol, so you're unarmed, Hjalmar. I'm not sure I want to give you the knife, though.
Give me the goddamn knife.
All right, I'll
I'm
give
gonna
you.
find one of the-
I'll
I'm
give you
gonna
the.
find one of the-
When I hear the Russians, I'll just be like, "Here you go," and I'm just gonna like just extend my hand, and the knife will be in there almost magically.
Yeah. In that case, like after you give me the knife, Sven just Yama looks at Sven and he's like, you saw what those Russians were going to do.
Just please don't do anything.
You saw what they were going to do, and those Russians, they know the ways. They still keep the old faith. They might have been right.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hear the sound of sort of like fighting behind you at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna investigate. I've got my pistol out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, all you do is basically, because you're kind of there by the door, you turn. Like, you can see Olivia sort of like grabbing one of these people by the neck and like trying to fight off the other two. But clearly, I mean, she's overwhelmed with the three of them. They're trying to get past her toward where you are.
Or I'm
I think we need to...
gonna step out with my pistol. I'm gonna aim it right at them and say, "That's quite enough. Stop right where you are." Just kind of like kind of, keep it like panning between them.
Yeah. So you have the pistol drawn.
Yeah.
Hjalmar, are you holding the knife?
The knife, as I step out the door. Oh well, sort of shuffle out of the door. I sort of hold the knife extended towards them, and I say something in Russian.
What do you say?
I say this. Wait, what's the one again? An eye for an eye, a sacrifice for a sacrifice. I say in Russian.
Okay, that's awesome. Make a. No, don't make any roll actually. So these two of them, you say that, and they turn and run. But Olivia still has sort of one of them by the collar. She's like holding him there, kind of like shoved up against the wall as the other two go rushing out. What do you do next?
Rushing where? Like back down below
they're
deck?
rushing back out onto the deck. Like,
onto the deck, right.
They seem to be leaving.
Captain, we need to get off this ship. I'm gonna kind of I'll lower the pistol, but keep it like in my hand.
Yeah, and like she like growls out and kind of like now with the other two sort of not fighting her, like she's focused entirely on this one guy, and she shoves him sort of like up against the wall, and she yells at you, Hjalmar, and she's like, "If you want to give one to this beast, you give this one."
Well, in that case, Hjalmar walks up to him, and he says once again in Russian, "Give yourself freely, and your soul will be saved."
And he's just like struggling, trying to get himself free, but he's like by himself. He's sort of no match for this very formidable woman, right? Who's like holding him there. His eyes are wide. He's like, yeah.
Hjalmar, and this is he moves up and he says, "You know your fate."
Hjalmar, wait! Wait! What are you doing?
And Hjalmar shoves the dagger into his throat.
Right. I'm gonna make a fear test, I think.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. After everyone else losing their shit, this is like the final straw for me, I think.
Yeah.
I'll roll the 3 logic.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going for the full.
Oh yeah.
Desperate horror here.
Yeah.
I pass. All right. So we're not gonna have another.
Okay. Yeah. You keep it about you. I'm wondering though, like, how are you processing those?
I'm like Hjalmar is like the police, the kind of the one on the right side of the law from our group, right? And watching him in this like ranting with this old faith nonsense, as far as I'm concerned, and just fucking killing somebody in cold blood to appease some beast that he's named is just like I've like what he's lost it. He's completely fucking lost it. And I'm probably like, even though I passed that test, I'm a bit scared of him now. And I'm probably like, after he's done this, I'm gonna be like trying to get away from him and get onto a boat and to get the hell out of Dodge. Okay. I'm gonna go look for Amadeo, I think, actually.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that.
You go out. Yeah. So you go out. The Russian that Olivia had been holding kind of like slumps against him as you kind of cut into him. There's this, horrible like gurgling sound as you sort of stab him in the throat. Amadeo, this thing is in the water now. You've lowered it down far enough, and like you feel this like immense feeling of like relief that you've done what you needed to do, and like all is going to be right now. Like this this ultimate feeling of what's the word? That you've at last, like you've done this, like you've caused
my duty.
restoration. And you are yourself completely. Like you've done this thing, you had to do it, and you're just here, like clearly in your own mind, holding on to this winch of around the anchor, and you see the image of like the previous captain's face sort of, kind of, or I mean, you know it's him. You don't know how. You don't know what he looks like, but you know it's his face. And it just sort of disappears just as soon as it had come, kind of in front of you, and you're here on this rain-soaked deck. There's chaos all around. Now, like, the various passengers are like up on the deck. People have brought them up. Some of them are you know, they're covered in like soot and things like this. The other rowboats are sort of being lowered down. You see Sven come out of the bridge, further down the deck. What do you do, Amadeo?
I guess I look puzzled and surprised about what just happened, and you know, I did what I did, and now like, okay. So I will go back and try to see if I find my colleagues, like Sven.
Yeah, I mean, you see
Hjalmar
Sven,
and
further down.
Selma. So I go to Sven and I say, "Where are the rest? What happened?" But
Hjalmar's just killed somebody with that ceremonial knife. Was saying some crazy things about the old gods and some creature called, I was gonna say Garmadon.
Garmadon.
You can tell I've got a 5-year-old boy. Gorning. And where's Selma? We need to get off this boat. It's sinking. Sorry about slapping you. We can talk about it later. We need to get off this boat.
Terribly sorry.
Should we get Hjalmar first and Selma before we leave?
I think if we try to stop Hjalmar, he might stab us.
Where is he?
He's in the near the bridge. He's in the whatever that room is called, stateroom.
Like, okay, find a boat. I will try to get him.
Okay.
And find
Okay.
Selma.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
find
Okay.
a boat in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So can I do something to fix my wound on my arm? Like, I don't know. Can I just like? I guess not. Okay.
I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. It's not gonna have any mechanical effect, but you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Just
Describe to me what you do to sort of.
I don't know
help your arm.
if the shoulder is out, like I'm dislodged.
Yeah.
So I will try to put it back if I can, so I can
Yeah.
I can move it again and try
Sure,
to
yeah.
have some more if I need to do something.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we can definitely do that. Like, yeah, like maybe you kind of go up to like the side of like a wall and just kind of slam it on there. So yeah, absolutely, it hurts like hell.
And then I will go to find Hjalmar. So I don't know if that helps me with the wounded or I need to keep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean in this sort of situation, there's
Okay.
really nothing we can do about.
Well, I do it in any case just to feel better and be able to move it a little bit more, and then
Yeah,
I go to
absolutely.
the bridge as fast as
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so you're heading out to the bridge, and Sven, sorry, you were looking for where Selma is.
I'm looking for
right?
I'm looking for Selma and a boat, kind of at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, so you and so like kind of like just behind you can hear the shouting as the Gillenkreuzes, the Baron and the Baroness. They're sort of like right there behind you, kind of like lined up with the others, like, you know, kind of demanding to be led onto the boat first, as these two boats on the port side are getting ready to be let down into the water. So there are two boats definitely there. You also know that there must be two on the starboard side,
Okay.
though you can't see those from where you are.
Right. But can I hear Selma screaming now that I'm kind of like not talking to anyone?
I feel like
she's
there's a
too far
bit too
away.
much chaos and noise
Okay.
to would you be able to hear Selma.
All right. I'm gonna go help the crew with the boats that are on the port side to get them into the water, I guess.
Definitely. Okay.
Just seems to be the logical thing to do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and you push past the Baron and the Baroness, and you hear like this. Selma, you're in the boat in the water. You have like a few others are sort of trying to like clamber up onto your rowboat with you. What are you doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. You were giving them the oars, right? Where do you tell them to go? How do you tell like how do you handle this situation?
specifically, I'm looking to help the ones that are just as terrified as I am, if that makes sense. You know, the ones that are fleeing for their lives. I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm giving them rowboats. Go, go, go.
Yeah.
And this creature, it's visible on the water.
You saw it. You don't see it right now.
Oh, okay,
You had this image, and it kind of went under the boat again, under the ship again. Now you don't see it.
If you all don't want to die, you're going to row like you never rowed before. Get us out of here.
Yeah, and you can see in the sort of the like those little portholes, like the little windows on the side of the ship. Like you can see fire kind of going like into the ship as it's getting lower and lower. It's clearly sinking. Hjalmar, you have just killed this guy. Olivia is like holding him up still against the wall, but like you're holding this dagger, and suddenly you have this sense that you're kind of in two places at once. You're also in the ocean, right? You're swimming, you're angry, you smell this like intoxicating smell of blood, and you're kind of like rushing for that like right now. Like this is the only thing you can think of is to get this morsel that's sort of like hanging off the side of the ship. And like you don't want to be here, you want it to be somewhere else, but now you're here and you're going to get this thing. At the same time, you're also you, and you realize you can control what this thing is doing.
Right. So I sort of direct it. I feel this. I direct it towards the thing that it's smelling,
Mm-hmm.
and I let it take it.
Okay. So like you're doing this like, and how do you look right now? Like do you still have like the knife in the guy's throat? Are you holding it like right there? Or how do you look when you're trying to control this thing?
So Hjalmar sort of looks a bit like he looks faced. He looks like the sort of thing where you really aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
And he's holding this dagger sort of against the throat, which he has just slit. And he sort of, that's when he loses it. So when he does that, that's sort of when the eye thing happens, and he sort of jumps into this beast.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks very distanced.
Yeah.
Kind of just standing there. Most like he almost can't stand on his own, but he somehow keeps himself upright.
Okay.
And the idea here is that he is going to let it take the thing and then descend into the depths of the sea.
Yeah. So Olivia kind of sees you doing this, and she just lets go of this guy, and she just leaves. She like goes out the side, and you can hear her yelling outside behind you, like trying to give any sort of more organization. She's actually really near you, Sven, like trying to get the last of the passengers and things like onto these ships.
Are the Russians that fled, are they around us too?
They are not.
Okay. All right.
They are not immediately around you. And Hjalmar, after she goes, right, the body sort of like crumples down. And you can feel this thing grab onto this thing that it wanted, right? And as soon as like you know that that's happening, you can feel the ship itself sort of jerk again. And you realize that you have something like heavy sort of like in your mouth, and it's like pulling down, and it starts yanking, and like as you're directing this thing to sort of go back into the depths, it's like pulling on this chain, like, and the ship itself is kind of yanking down with it. And yeah, so like the bow of the ship is very violently getting pushed down as Gorning takes this bait basically on the end of this giant fishing hook, which is the anchor, and it's pulling it down into the depths and yanking the ship down with it, which shakes you. As that's happening, as a ship yanks, Amadeo, you come in, you see the body on the floor, you see Hjalmar there, but like this distant look on his face, and somehow kind of like staying right, as if he knew, like he has this ability to know like when the ship was going to move, and so he just like stays up, right, sort of thing. What do you do, Amadeo?
So I'm imagine like his state that he's going through the same situation I was going before, probably, or a similar, I mean, kind of a
Perhaps,
mental
yeah,
state.
perhaps we would say that.
So I approach him and I grab him from the shoulders and I'm like, Hjalmar, come back to us. We need to leave the boat at this moment. Whatever is controlling you, please come. Let's go. This is over.
Yama looks back at you with dead eyes. Does not respond.
Red rum.
No, does not respond, and he sort of looks back, like doesn't seem to be coherent in that sense.
Oh, damn it. And I have my bag of medicine. I mean, I look around. Is there anything that I could use? Like,
I'm just trying to figure out, like, would Hjalmar realize that it's pulling the ship down?
Yeah, you know exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
know it from it, but you kind of know it from you, sort of thing. Like you have this duality of mind going on.
Okay, so in that case, because this is the thing, I don't want to be pulled down. I'm trying to figure out what I want this to end as, and Hjalmar sort of looks at Amadeo again, and he says, "It must feed on something."
I'm like, what must fit on something?
Don't you see? Look, and he sort of points at where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I
I mean,
mean, you're pointing at the dead human. I mean, the dead body.
I mean, I would point at that and be like, "Throw that overboard, Amadeo, and we shall all be safe."
But and then I have this like, but I fed the beast. I gave a pig to the beast then. I mean, what are you trying to do?
It's pulling the ship down because it's eating, and I can feel its hunger. I can feel its unsated thirst for blood. Throw that overboard, and we shall be safe.
Okay, I understand. I think I kind of understand what he's trying to say. So I will pull this. I will repeat the same task apparently, and they.
Okay, yes.
Dragger.
You're the body dragger.
Yeah, boy.
He's dragging the corpse out onto the deck. By this point, Sven, you're onto one of these rowboats. Do you go on the same one with captain?
No,
the captain,
if
or
I
a
don't,
different one?
I don't care about the captain. I care about the Baron and Baroness. I don't want to be on the same boat with
that's a
them.
great point. So they're going to be on the one like with the captain.
Yeah, then I'm on the other one.
Okay, so you go to the other one. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're currently like getting wedged down. There are a couple people up there still. And you probably see Amadeo come up to the edge of the railing, kind of like pulling this body.
And I just toss it overboard. I pull up the body and then the legs, and I'm like, phew.
Yeah, and then like into the water it goes. Do you say anything, Sven, to Amadeo, or
No.
as you're getting lowered down into the water? No. Okay.
I'm just like, just add it to the tally of weird shit going on. I'll ask him about it later. I want to get off this boat before it sinks.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
it's not long, and like it hits the water. The couple of people that were winching it go over the side. Amadeo, do you go into the water as well? I mean, the two rowboats are now sort of in. The last of the crew are going over the side.
I will go back to help Hjalmar.
I'll go back to help Hjalmar as well. Actually.
So
You're in the water now. So
sorry.
Swim out.
Right.
As,
Okay.
As a question, so
Yeah.
if I try to have Gorning release this anchor, can it do it?
It really doesn't want to, but if you sort of, but you do have control of it. I'm going to make because of this whole duality of mind thing.
Mm-hmm.
Make a logic. If you succeed at a logic test,
Yeah.
you can sort of control yourself in a way to give this thing up. Otherwise, it's just going to keep pulling it.
Right. I'll do. That'll be 5 dice then. No, free.
Yeah, pure
No, wait,
attribute.
goddamn. Sorry
3D.
about that. Is it 3D? Yeah. No. I'll push that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm now hopeless as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You get control. You make it let go of this thing. It's one of the hardest things you've ever had to do. Like there's nothing more you wanted than to grab this thing and pull it down to the depths with you. But you get control. It lets go. What do you want it to do now?
I send it towards. It would immediately sense the blood in the water from the slashed corpse, and it goes
Yeah.
up towards it and it
Yeah.
eats it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And as it does, right? Because this is really close to the lifeboats. Then you see this massive face like coming up out of the water. This serpentine face, all gnarled and bony, and it grabs onto this corpse that's in the water. And there's this like sudden like gasp from like everyone around as they watch this body like just kind of like come apart, and then is pulled down
Yeah.
into
I'm-
the depths.
I'm making another fear roll
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
I've once upon a time been in the water in the Red Sea when there was a shark swimming nearby.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
one of the
dear.
most terrifying moments of my life. So I'll make a logic roll, I guess.
hmm
Okay, all right.
Amadeo, you should do the same thing because you see the exact same thing. As this body, you just get dropped. You drop it in the water, it gets torn apart and eaten by this giant sea serpent.
Okay, so logic test.
Okay.
2 dice.
Do you want to push it?
So it goes.
Push it.
Push
Push
it.
it.
I mean, I don't know what I even try.
All right.
No.
So here we go
I'm
again.
broken. I'm hopeless. There's no hope. What's going on?
So if you're broken by it, then you also get a critical.
No,
fear.
no, not broken.
You are. If once you become terrified, you take a number of
Okay.
conditions
Because of
equal to the
Fear value.
fear value, which is I
And I
guess
imagine-
a 2, right? Maybe even a 3. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in this case we're gonna say it's 2.
that. So I need to roll.
So you get a mental broken is all. Just take that for you, and then you roll d66.
This 66.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God.
So it goes.
Supernatural experience.
Can I,
Well,
It does have the time limit of 1d6 minutes.
can I use my 9 lives or not for this? It's
What does
only
that
for
do?
physical. When rolling for a critical injury, which I don't know if this is it, decide which dice represents the tens and which represents the ones. Can it be used for mental things?
This is a critical injury, technically. It does have the word critical injury next to it. I'm just going to quickly look it up for
Yeah,
you.
that's a great question.
Okay, can you just... Yeah, 46? Maybe it's better.
It
That
will be
would be
better.
better.
Yeah. 9 lives. Yeah, I mean, it just says a critical injury, and they're technically
Yeah.
called mental critical injuries. So I'd say that probably
I'm
is
okay
good.
with it.
Okay.
So you're mentally crushed instead. It still has a time limit of 1d6 hours, so roll a d6 to see how many hours you have to be inspired back from the brink. 1. You've got an hour. And the defect is impaired empathy.
makes sense.
Yeah. Which would give
And
you a
how do
mi-
you,
yeah.
and how do you react to this, Amadeo? So in the terrified, do you flee? In what way do you flee? Do you freeze?
I don't know, I guess I
Lash
will...
out at something?
I will. No, I just get totally probably frozen by the vision of this beast eating this thing and
Yeah.
doing this, and like I'm just holding the handrail, probably like what's like probably totally stunned by the experience, and
Yeah.
just seeing everyone moving around me, and I just kind of don't feel anything anymore.
Hjalmar, you have control of Gorning. What does it do next after eating this thing?
I try to send it down the depths to disappear.
And it goes. I mean, but you know like holding this, like you still have control. You can make it come back. What do you do next?
Are they still on the like? Are the lifeboats still around?
They're in the water, kind of moving away from the ship, which is rapidly going down at this point.
So this connection, what does it feel like? Does it feel innate? Does it feel like it's gonna end? Or do I not know that?
No, I mean you feel like you feel like you have like you've sort of dismissed it, but you feel like you could call it back just by holding it. Like you have this connection now.
Is Sven on the lifeboat?
Sven is on the lifeboat, but you wouldn't know that. You're still in the corridor.
Yeah. Yalma would look around the boat to see if there's anyone left.
So as soon as you go out onto the deck, now like the water is kind of like right there, kind of lapping at the sort of bottom of the railing, and you see Amadeo there on the deck, sort of frozen. And you can see like 2 lifeboats out on one side, and you get the sound of others behind you somewhere on the other side of the ship. What do you do now?
I look at Amadeo, I'm like, oh, you're still here.
Holding a bloody knife.
I just look at him and I don't say anything. I'm like, I don't care anymore.
The ship is going down. I feel like I should say that.
I call Gurning back, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have this image in my head that I want to see if I can do.
Okay. So the ship's going down. Amadeo, after a few moments, you sort of get control of your senses. Hjalmar is next to you, sort of by the rail. Sven and Selma, you're both on these rowboats getting further and further from where the ship is going down. It looks like it's going to just submerge any time now. And Amadeo, what do you do next? With Hjalmar there beside you with a bloody knife.
I guess I feel the coldness of the water on my body at this moment, like lapping at my feet.
Yeah.
And I guess I guess my survival instinct kicks in, and I look around to see if there are any like these things that you can put around your body, like vest or something like that.
I would say like there are a couple kind of like left strewn around the deck where like in the chaos people had.
Okay, so I will take one and another one for Hjalmar, and I look, Hjalmar, we need to put this and try to survive.
Yalma shakes his head.
Okay, and maybe, yeah. So tell us what happens next, Simon. You're kind of in control of.
So what I'm thinking is that Gurning comes up, descends from the sea, and Yalma approaches this beast. What does it actually look like when you can have it in full view?
So as it comes up out of the water, did you get off the ship, Amadeo? Are you kind of like you're like in the life preserver, kind of like floating away?
I guess I was trying to put the life preserver, and I put it also to Hjalmar. At the end of the day, I'm a doctor, so I will try to save his life as much as if I can.
Okay, So I mean, it sounds like Hjalmar doesn't want to wear this thing.
And did you let me put you the life preserver?
If you insist on putting it on me, I guess he would.
Because it will take some time for Gorning to make its way sort of back up.
Okay,
so
in that case,
I
put it on. It just it's a sillier impression than I wanted it to be. But I can do this in a life. I can do this in a life preserver.
Okay, so you're
like
both in life
round
preservers.
ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's like these round ones that go around you, and you go like children in a pool. You're hanging here in the water. You go up to the side. Gorning comes up, and it has like a mixture of like pale and like greenish and gold sort of like scales, and it comes up, and again like it has like its face just like looks remarkably ancient in a way, like something of a bygone era, right? Like something that's way more ancient than anything that exists, right? But yeah, like a living fossil almost. And it comes out of the water, and its eyes are fixed on you, Hjalmar. you can sense to like its desire is not to be here. It doesn't want to be controlled by you. Like there's this underlying resentment that you can feel, but at the same time, like you know you have control over it, and it's there, sort of staring at you, like these two orbs of its eyes, kind of like watching you. Amadeo, you're seeing this as well. I mean, how close, Hjalmar, did you make this thing go to you?
It comes up to me so that I could seat it if I wanted to.
Muad'Dib! He's gonna ride it like a sandworm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Ah.
I guess I'm freaking out. I mean, this is just the most
This isn't
horrifying
D&D.
experience.
All right. So Hjalmar, so you're going to get
Yes,
up onto
it
the serpent, and then where are you going with it? What's your ultimate plan for it?
I think I'm sort of. I get up on this thing, and because I have this idea from Nordic folklore that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I get up on it, and I sit up, and I look at Amadeo, and I'm like, I'll see you in the depths, old friend. And then I just sink down with it.
Okay. All right. And
Oh,
so
wow.
you go down into the water. Sven, you see this happen as well. That Hjalmar goes down into the depths, the cold, dark depths of the sea. Like the rain is pouring down. Selma, you would probably also see this now as the ship is mostly down. All of you. No one else seems to exactly see it. They saw like the body being kind of like taken apart and down, but they don't see what you see. But you're here, Amadeo. If you want, like over time, you would get back to the boats. So let's do.
Can I try and give him an inspiration roll before he's also gone? Like
No.
if we can get him back into the boat?
This will be beyond the scope, I think, of our,
Okay.
our mystery,
All right.
and
Okay.
we can
All right.
assume that you're able to bring him back from the brink. Poor Selma is going to have ongoing
Yeah.
issues, but yeah, over time you would get away, and so as a sort of like ending, sort of like epilogue scene, tell us, yeah, anything you want to tell me that for each of your characters, sort of like the aftermath of this. Eventually, like you would be sort of rescued at sea. Someone would come around to sort of recover your lifeboats. But yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to say, sort of in closing, as all this ends. I mean, in fact, Sven, it could be this sort of inspirational speech that you give to Amadeo.
Oh no, I'm not going to give one.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
It's basically, if I needed to, it would be a case of like
Slapping him.
no more slapping. Probably be more of a case of just trying to talk through what we've just seen and say like, what did Hjalmar do, and try and make him think about things logically and see if his mind has kind of snapped, or if he can try and bring some logic, because I know he's a doctor, right? So
Yeah.
he was acting completely irrationally before, so I'm just thinking if I can make him start to analyze things properly, maybe that's the way to inspire a medical professional to kind of bring them back from the brink of madness. So that's what I would do. I'd basically try and rescue him from the water first of all, bring him into my lifeboat, and then I'll also ask him like, why did you do what you did, and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, and I at this moment I probably don't. Well, I have impaired empathy. So basically, I will be probably not responseless, but probably will not give any empathic response to you. Like, I don't know.
well, the impaired empathy is a defect which only potentially comes into play, I think afterwards, right, as like a long-term effect.
Yeah, I think there was only 1 hour.
No, yeah. Anyway, it's the defect,
Doesn't
which
matter.
anyway,
Okay.
yeah, that's like the long-term effect of it, which may not even come into play.
Okay. So,
But
yeah.
you're like the idea is that you're crushed. That's the main thing, that you're mentally crushed. But yeah, I don't know. That would just be what I'd be trying to do. Just be trying to get you to think about it from a doctor's perspective and from a logical perspective.
Okay.
Like to tell me
So,
what had happened. So
So I'll tell you. Well, I just had this feeling that I had to do something, and that I had to bring the food to this creature or something, and that's what I did. I just, fed the pig to the creature, but apparently it wasn't enough, and then that's why Hjalmar asked me to also drop this other body over the handrail. And I don't know what happened to Hjalmar, honestly. I don't know what made him think that he had to go with this serpent. I don't know who was controlling whom. If the serpent was controlling Hjalmar, or Hjalmar wanted to go. I really don't know. He just said goodbye, and I didn't say anything back. I'm gonna miss this guy.
It's the chicken and egg. The chicken and egg. I have a magic trick about that. Would you like to see it? Oh, never mind. No, I've lost my props. They were in my bag. It's on the ship. Never mind.
I think that's a great moment. Like, I just imagine the two of you in the back of this lifeboat, like having this conversation. You're wet, you're tired, you're beaten and battered, right? And you're all sort of sopping, and Sven is covered in the final remains of the makeup that was like in his hair, what he didn't wipe away with the tablecloth, and you're both here like having this insane discussion after this insane boat ride, and there's the sound of the water of the rain coming down and the oars going in as you get further away, and in the distance you see like this little prick of light, perhaps from a lighthouse, that some land is near, and you're heading out that way. Salma, you're in your own rowboat. You're kind of following after the other ones. You had seen this creature, and Hjalmar go down with it. You have Amethyst there, and she's kind of like curled up in your lap, and like a couple other of the passengers that are just absolutely sort of like traumatized with you, and they're sort of trying to talk out with you, like, what did we just see? And in fact, in this boat with you, kind of like near the prow, sitting there, like huddled together with each other, are like two Russians. And they're just like huddled over. They kind of, they're just silent, right? Like there's absolute silence in this boat with you, except for like this conversation that you're having with the others. What does that sound like? What might you be saying as you row further off behind the others?
I was thinking that perhaps Selma really isn't much talkative right now. Perhaps if there's just this droning sound that she's just not hearing anything. She's just like it's all in the background. It's like all very, very far away. She's retreated deep where she's just holding Amethyst and just petting Amethyst and caressing her. And I think could I add to how Selma ends up? I'm thinking that as soon as they get to land, Selma will definitely leave the boat. She won't wait until anyone comes to rescue her or take care. No, she will leave, and she will head back to the base of operations, which was it a castle? Or
the castle. Yeah,
she will return to the castle, and she will never ever again step foot out of that castle. Like she will maybe lock herself in the like make the library her home, and other investigators will come and they will find and encounter Selma, and Selma will be very much keep to herself and just tell everyone to leave and not come back here. She'll warn investigators away from this life. But she won't be explicit about it.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. Yeah. Definitely.
Talking to Selma is the new rite of passage for new investigators.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have what it takes?
Yeah. Finally, Hjalmar, tell us about Hjalmar's trip riding the serpent, Gorning.
This is the thing, because you mentioned the D&D thing, because I'm not like, oh, he's the master of this.
No, the D&D thing would be if you rode it along like with the boats back to shore.
No. Okay, yeah.
No, like sinking into the depths is great. Don't worry about it.
Sunk into the depths, and sort of what I imagine sort of is that he sits on this thing and sort of the consciousness of the snake and the consciousness of Hjalmar start to merge more and more until there really is no decidable difference, and he
Yeah.
sort of fades and takes the place of the consciousness of the beast
Okay.
eventually.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome.
And sort of the body sort of lays sort of semi-rotting on top of it, sort of
Yeah.
spiked to something, and like he is now gurning
Right.
and
That's
loses his
amazing.
humanity slowly as he fades.
Well,
Yeah.
you had the dagger still, right? You could have like stabbed your hand into it or something.
Yeah,
to,
that's
like, keep you
sort
there.
of what I wanted. I was actually going for that. Like he
Yeah.
stabs
Yeah.
it into the beast on it, so to sort of stab them
Definitely.
together.
Yeah.
Good that you reminded me of that because I had that idea.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So yeah, he holds it left and it sort of merges slowly as the blood seeps from his foot, from his hand,
Yeah.
and sort of seeps into it, and it's something like that.
Yeah. Gorning Hjalmar. Going down into the depths beneath the sea. Wonderful. Well, thanks so much, everyone. That's it. That's where we're ending. That's how this concludes.
Wow. Okay.
What a ride.
Yeah. Two surviving PCs.
Yeah.
Amadeus saved by GM intervention.
Yeah. Yeah.
All good.
I mean, who knows if we come back to this, maybe we'll make that roll. But for now, we'll leave it there.
You don't want me to make an inspiration roll right now, for sure.
Yeah.
With 2 dice. But yeah. Anyway. Cool.
Yeah. It gave me
That was really good.
Yeah, it gave me really strong Cthulhu vibes, honestly, at some point.
Yeah.
I really
sort
was,
of-
Same.
I
That's
really
sort
was
of what I-
tempted at some point to say, "Oh, the tentacles come at you" or something, but I just shut
Yeah.
up because I
I
didn't
had
want to
this-
spoil it.
I had this thing where I was like, I could play Almer as being rational, but I was like, I want to dig into sort of the Call of Cthulhu vibes of the like
Yeah.
descending into madness from the pain and the
Yeah.
inspiration and all that.
And
then
reading
especially-
reading that shit as well. The notes that I
Yeah.
wrote back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of I never. So one thing I thought about, like I never actually broke mentally, but I just let myself broke because it would be more interesting for the narrative.
I mean, I think that's such an awesome way to end it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm really happy with how this turns out.
Yeah. I have to say the conceit of the adventure is really cool. We've talked about it, I think, every time in the Tavern Talks. We're not going to be doing a Tavern Talk, which is why I'm bringing it up now quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the idea of being kind of stranded on this boat, and when the boat is starting to sink and caught on fire, it's like you're torn between trying to finish the mystery somehow, but also survive, which you just wouldn't really necessarily have on land somewhere. It's just a really cool, interesting set of constraints on the whole thing.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Because like if I had the more feasible escape method, I would not have gone down the route I went with Hjalmar now.
Hmm.
But I was like, it feels so fitting, so I just had to do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. So something I try to like, and this is sort of, I mean, so we're not going to do a tavern talk. This is sort of like behind the scenes of how I conceived all this. Is the initial idea is there is obviously the ghost of the former captain, and I mean I think all this is probably pretty obvious by now. But so you have these sort of like a two Vaesen dynamic. And they each have their own sort of thing, and then you have like this sort of interfering thing of these cultists trying to control the serpent, and in a way, the spirit of the captain is trying to play both sides because he wants the serpent to die, so he wants them. He knows what they're doing. He wants them to succeed in their ritual, but only insofar as then he can then kill it. And so at various points, that's kind of like working in the background, as these different players have their different agendas for how they want all this to play out. Obviously, the cultists want to take control of this thing, which you prevented, and then Hjalmar taking it over, I think is amazing. And because you had like this ritual half done, like without the sacrifice, there was also the option of if you had like destroyed the knife somehow. I had the idea that one way you might have been able to do is throw it in the furnace or something, right? And that would have caused this creature to sort of go off on its own, not like completely free of its will. That is until Tony strung up the pig and dropped it in the water, which, yeah. So Amadeo's character, or Amadeo, was working in the sort of will of the captain, the previous captain. Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of the background to what's going on here.
Could the creature have died by dragging the boat down the water?
Yeah. No. Definitely. So it would have. Yeah. It would have been pulled down, and yeah.
And the creature would have been injured by this pulling down, or attached to the boat forever and ever, I guess. Or
right, yeah, exactly. And then starved to death or something, yeah.
Damn it.
But now it is Hjalmar, which is so much of a cooler potential ending that I never imagined. So that's
it would be fun to go back to it as a sort of secondary group. Like if you would ever do that, and then you would have to sort out the mystery of sort of settling everything that happened here.
Amadeo would be a sort of half mad Captain Ahab.
Tossing piggies overboard. So there you are. I'm giving the food. My personal pet.
Excellent. Really, really good. Cool. Yeah. All right. I think we'll leave it there then. Thanks everyone for watching and for the chat.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Eric, for running Vaesen for us.
Very
welcome. That's really good. And thanks everyone for playing too. Our channel here at Three Skulls Tavern runs every Sunday now, not twice a week, just once a week. Now we're in 2021, things are changing up a little bit, and with Vaesen finishing, we finished Forbidden Lands 2 weeks ago. We're finishing our Twilight 2000 campaign next Sunday, and then we're going to be starting Coriolis and Alien coming up soon on the channel, and they're going to be fortnightly. So instead of, I know this is a bit of a weird one because it's been 2 months since we played last, and it was, if we were running regularly, it was 1 month between episodes, and it was just too long. So we're moving to every other week there'll be a new episode for all the campaigns, and being on Sundays, it's going to be they're going to kind of interlock with each other. So it's kind of going to be just actual plays while those campaigns are running, and then in between there might be a few weeks where I'm doing other stuff like Dev Diaries or solo stuff, that sort of thing. So that's all to come. But yeah, so follow the channel, subscribe. If you hit the like, that sort of stuff, it helps grow the channel, and subscribing also let you stay informed about the new stuff that's coming up. And you can find links to all the various social media stuff at the bottom panel there. I also have a Ko-Fi account set up now, so if you want to support the channel financially, go ahead and buy a coffee on Ko-Fi. There's a little link there in the description, and yeah, that's me. So once again, thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone.
And yeah, I'll catch some of you in the future, and yeah, not all of you necessarily.
At some point, maybe.
At some point, yep. We'll see what we've got coming up.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.